Welcome to Real Talk Wrestling. This is your host, Josh Kimmel. With me, Chris Koffler, and of course, Miami Clutch. What's going on, my guys? Yes, I see your sign, Chris. Signs are cool in wrestling again. What's up?
What's going on, man?
Nothing much. Clutch, I haven't talked to you, and it seems like in a long time. Me and Chris has caught up a little bit. I felt bad, like, oh crap, we were just, as the intro was going on, like, wait, we just talked about our high school reunion, and Clutch is like, yeah, guys, I'm not in America, so I have no idea what you're talking about. So I didn't catch up with you. How you been?
All good, man. All good. Just catching up on a few things, but I'm good.
Good to
Thank
go.
you.
There's no more sports to watch. There's no more, hockey. There's no more
I gotta thank you
basketball.
personally for that Panthers jinx.
Don't make me dump you like I dumped Koffler last week. I'll do it. I'll freaking do it. No, you know what? I'm really happy that not happy that they won the cup, but I'm happy that the players, like, it doesn't matter to me. Teams, Florida Panthers, Washington Capitals, like, the players are why I watch sports, and it's cool to see those guys celebrate in the ocean and do things that, the Lightning would do. But sad week for us. You don't watch hockey as much, but Steven Stamkos is about to hit free agency, and then you guys win the Stanley Cup. Like, what a devastating week for the Lightning.
Yeah.
Anyway, wrestling, great week for wrestling. Probably the best wrestling week we've had since WrestleMania, I would say. Raw was a banger. SmackDown, when we recorded last Friday, was a banger as well. I went back and watched everything. My prediction was right that Drew was going to be there and destroy CM Punk. Said it before it happened. It was an obvious thing anyway. The way they pulled it off was amazing. So, Clutch, we're going to start with the WWE, like we always do now, because it's the better show, the hotter show. What'd you think about this week of wrestling in WWE?
Oh, I guess I'll start on SmackDown because, when we left off on the show, this SmackDown I thought was the best SmackDown that we've had since peak Bloodline. And it was really good from start to finish. The beginning of the show with CM Punk and Paul Heyman, nobody saw that. I didn't see that coming because I just was thinking, oh, Drew's just going to come out and kill him. That's it. But no, with Paul Heyman basically asking him for help and be like, take me with you and all that. And it was so cool. And then obviously you get into, you hear banging on the door. And I think everybody thought it was the Wyatt Six because they had security all over and you just heard banging. Door comes up, big reveal. Drew McIntyre just kicked the shit out of CM Punk. Punk selling it like death. Blood all over the face, over the mouth. Little detail of taking the bracelet with AJ's name on it and Larry. That was cool. And then the big one, Jacob Fatu. Finally debuts in WWE. And probably one of the strongest debuts that they've had in recent memory, taking out 3 Hall of Famers at the same time by himself. Mm-hmm. And I don't think I'm exaggerating when I'm saying one of the biggest debuts at least in recent memory. Yeah, I freaking love SmackDown.
Yeah, SmackDown was great. I just dogged SmackDown last week, said it was one of the most boring shows on TV because it was, and it's getting better and better each week. I can only do so much of Cody crying and this call Roman Reigns, like, right? I can only get so much of that, and they're finally adding in to the bloodline to make it more interesting with Jacob Fatu, because you saw even the Tongas were like, what? Really? So it looks like Solo's just going out of his way to add people to the bloodline without consulting anybody, Paul Heyman or the Tongas. He's just going crazy and just saying, hey, I need you. Come over here. So people are like, why didn't he debut earlier? I did hear something about this. Can't travel outside of the country anymore. He's landlocked. And most of the pay-per-views were in France, Scotland, right, overseas. So he couldn't. Where was he going to ever debut? So they finally have a good run of pay-per-views that are in America. So that was actually the perfect time to debut him, actually.
I guess it depends on the country because he's booked for Canada and for Money in the Bank.
Okay.
So I guess it depends on the country and their laws regarding things like that. But he's booked for Money in the Bank.
Well, I know the Usos can't travel, but they can go to Canada, I believe.
Yeah, they couldn't travel, and last time they went, before they couldn't go to Canada, now they can. So maybe Canada just like less strict about it now.
Maybe they have a deal with WWE or something. Who knows? Speaking of deals, we'll get to the Indianapolis deal. I do want to talk to you guys about that. If you guys think it's a good idea, bad idea. Chris Koffler, you don't watch much of the E lately, but I'm sure you've seen some clips online. What stands out to you for WWE this week? I know you saw something. I know for a fact you did. You couldn't miss it.
I told you it was right here. It was Joe
That
Hendry.
was last week. That was last week.
That's what I've been watching this week. You told me I had to get caught up on it. No, but as far as this week, you had talked about it before the show. Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan is what's been standing out in WWE. She's all over. Anytime I open any social media, she seems to be a big focal point in WWE right now.
Yes.
And I was thinking about it. It's been a good way to keep Rhea relevant, not relevant, but like involved while not being there.
It's bringing up. I like it a lot because you're right. It adds. Dom would be nothing without Rhea. I don't want to say it in a mean way because Dom's great. They can find something for Dom to do. What I meant by that is it's keeping him relevant on TV, keeping the heat alive because you don't know what he's going to do.
Yep.
He's always finding himself in his predicaments where he's getting text messages that we all wish we got. I saw something on Botchamania, by the way, where they spoofed Eminem's. What's that song way back in the day? What? She tripped and fell on his. And then it literally cut to her tripping off the ring and falling on Dom. that was one of the best parts of Botchamania this week, guys. You guys gotta watch Botchamania weekly. It's so good. But the thing with Liv is she trying to divide the Judgment Day, or is she just trying to replace Rhea? Like, what is her main motive? Do you guys think?
She's trying to buy into the Judgment Day, I think, or get their support. I mean, she got him a tag title match, and they're tag champs now. Yeah. So yeah, it's gone beyond Dom. I have a working theory that she's actually in cahoots with Finn instead of Dom, and something's going to play out. Maybe you end up with Rhea and Dom against Liv and Finn. Maybe something like that down the line. I don't know, but I think she's going into the Judgment Day. She's trying to like get in their good graces.
That's interesting you said that because I didn't think about Dom ever as a babyface ever. Even this week on Raw, he's tried to talk and there were sloppy seconds.
That was funny, so.
That was really good. And Liv's like, I don't care. That was great. But every time he spoke, he still gets the most heat out of any wrestler in the world. You can't hear, even if they're turning up the crowd noise, whatever it is, they still won't let him speak. I don't think the crowd is ready for him to be babyface when she comes back. I think the biggest way to utilize Dom is to get Rhea over by having her slam him. Anytime a woman does a move on a man, no matter who it is, that woman gets mega over. She's already mega over. But how do you get her mega over? How do you get her to the Becky Lynch or to the Charlotte Flair? She's already up there, but to get her over that edge, I think she's got to do that. I think Dom has to stay heel.
Yeah, I mean, that's how the Dom storyline started, no? She was beating up Dom, and everybody loved it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So you have a point there. I'm just interested to see where it goes because it's a fun storyline. Everybody on Raw is freaking horny, apparently. I don't know if that's a sorry Bobby kind of moment, but yeah, everybody.
I mean, you got Liv, you got Zelina. I mean, you got a lot of talented women over there. So I definitely
Zelina had a really good promo on her. I enjoyed that.
Dude, Zelina's great. I don't know why they don't utilize her more. She's great on the mic. She used to manage Andrade. Remember the COVID days? She was on both shows. She was cutting amazing promos week after week. She's really good on the mic. She needs to be a mouthpiece, not some whatever she is now. Which whatever she is now is just a hot girl in LWO, and nobody cares about the LWO. It is what it is there. But yeah, I'm excited for Liv. I think it's great. And this is going into an era where they start Netflix very soon. And Netflix is going to most likely be TV 14 or better. Yep. We already see a little bit of this on Raw. When you watch Raw, USA Network, you have Pat McAfee, the badass, or that's a big mother effer, whatever he says, all big SOB. Those are things you shouldn't be saying on PG television. Braun Breaker, which I never noticed this. Clutch, tell me if I'm wrong. He's got the word literally badass on his singlet. I've never seen that before.
Yeah. He's had it since NXT, though.
Okay. But still, like, imagine.
I mean, yeah. It's not you don't see the word ass on TV anymore.
No. And Chris sent me a TikTok earlier. Maybe for the show. It shows like some dude watching. When WWE goes to Netflix, it shows like Seth Rollins being announced. Instead of Seth freaking Rollins, they go Seth freaking Rollins, and the guy just freaks out like, what? Like that's the stuff we can see in Netflix. I'm down for that. I don't want to see him go full blast like rated X or rated R.
You don't want to see it be overkill and like overcorrect or anything, but it'll take us back to the days of prime wrestling, right? Late 90s wrestling.
What I'm so happy about is Triple H already confirmed this, is that they're going to stop bleeping out the holy shit chants. So, and that's just, for me, that's just a massive step forward, just that one thing.
He said that
because
there's so, right?
Yeah. Because there's so many cool moments in WWE that have gotten that chant just in the recent weeks. And it kind of takes away from it because the audio feed just keeps cutting out.
Yep.
The worst is when they just cut everything out. You just hear silence
off the screen because they don't want to show people flipping off the wrestlers and something like that.
Yeah, it's awful. It's beyond censorship. That's not what professional wrestling is to me. I got into wrestling because of the Attitude Era and because of WCW, and I got out of wrestling because of the kid stuff. Now all those kids watching it are growing up, and cool. We're gonna finally get some real pro wrestling now that Triple H is head of talent, out of the creative. So WWE is really good, man. It's unbeatable right now. I was watching Dynamite just before we started, and we're not going to talk about AEW just yet. We still got some more WWE stuff. And one of their hottest angles, the Young Bucks, right? That's their main guys. That's one of the main stories. Crowd was dead. Crowd was just, it's like a funeral home there. And then you turn to WWE and you watch a Drew McIntyre promo. The crowd is hot. CM Punk grabbed that camera, by the way, and showed everyone the hard cam and said, look at all these people. You see that, Chris?
No, I did not see that. That's funny, though.
Yeah. I mean,
shot.
It's not, to me, it's not company versus company. It's just like the hot one. The better wrestling show is WWE right now. And that's where I want to be. That's where I want to watch. That's what I want to invest my time in. A lot of good things going on. Clutch, what else? I text you all the stuff. I don't know where my phone is anymore. What else happened this week on WWE television?
Well, R-Truth did a funny thing by giving that's a funny R-Truth thing, giving the tag titles the match, and then Miz, he was on commentary covering for McAfee, which we figured out wasn't a storyline thing. He was actually out because of the death of a family member. So yeah, Miz was on commentary, and him finding out about a tag title match, that was funny. And yeah, Truth he was a shining light on that tag team, because if it wasn't for him, that shit would suck.
Yeah, but honestly, that title reign lasted a little longer than it should have. Glad that they dropped the titles back to the Judgment Day. This is what I want to talk to you. I found my phone. Wyatt 6.
Oh, man.
How do you think the follow-up was on Raw? We saw it Friday night. We saw the security guards. They mentioned it multiple times. This week on Raw, we had what's her name again? Nikki Cross. Gosh, I keep on calling her Alexa Bliss, her best friend. Remember when Alexa Bliss, her gimmick was, I like coffee. Remember that, guys?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, that was awful. Anyway, so we have Nikki Cross coming out. She walks out spooky after Chad Gable wins his match. He qualifies for Money in the Bank. He rolls out of the ring, kind of gets out of the way, and she focuses to Michael Cole, and I believe The Miz was still there at the time. And then she hands him a VHS tape. And did you notice the security guards were knocked out when she gave him the VHS tape? So someone knocked those guys out. Not sure what happened. But they played the VHS tape, and what happened was pretty good. It was actually really good. Chris, were you able to watch this on YouTube or Twitter or anywhere where the Bo Dallas and the Uncle Howdy segment? Let's break it down. It was
surprisingly this week. I didn't see much on it. Like the debut week, there was a ton of video everywhere, but this week there wasn't hardly anything.
Break it down, Clutch. Did you like the video? Did you like how they brought up Bray and made it real?
It was so good. It was so good. You see, like, you go into the video and you see Uncle Howdy asking these questions, and in your head you immediately think, because you didn't know the situation at that time, oh, it's probably maybe Pat McAfee, maybe it's somebody else, maybe somebody else from the Wyatt 6, but no, it's Bo Dallas. Like, Not even just Bo Dallas. It's Taylor Rotunda. Just so it's cool that he was just talking about real life things, and as soon as he answers, then you have the bombshell question right away. How do you feel about your brother dying and after your brother's death? And he answered the question, like, he talked so well. And then after that, they're asking, "Oh, are you exploiting your brother's death?" Like, he's being asked a lot of things that I guess you see some of the criticism on the internet that he was getting for it. He just straight up decided, okay, I'm gonna address this right here, right now. And he spoke very well for anybody that thought how he would look as a serious character, because he's always been a comedy character before. He nailed the crap out of that. There were moments where he sounded a lot like Bray, and I thought it was really, really well done. And it keeps you like interested in the storyline too. They're 2 for 2 so far with the Wyatt Six.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I like the answer he gave. He was talking about how it was supposed to be me and him. We're supposed to rule the world. We were supposed to do this and do that, and it got real because that's what the plan was, for them to work together and rule the world and rule the WWE. But it didn't happen. So I was shocked by the video. I didn't see it live. I'll be honest with you. That night, I was texting Bobby Finstock. I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna watch a little bit of Raw," and I was texting you, Chris, about the same thing. But man, hockey's just more important right now, and I know this is a wrestling show. But when it's Game 7, only one thing comes above of Game 7 in hockey, and that's my son. So, and I'm not even my wife comes above a Game 7. I'm picking Game 7 every day. I mean, I'm sorry. So I had to watch that game, but I did watch. I was flipping back and forth through intermissions and commercials, and I wasn't able to see that live, but I saw it the next day, and man, it was so good. I wish I forwarded you the video then, Chris, because I know you would have watched it and liked it.
Oh, absolutely.
There's no supernatural at all towards
Good.
it. They kind of explain the Chad Gable thing. They're leading into that story where you see him come out of his ride right away. He's covering his bandage where his head, where he was shot or whatever he was done to him. He's covering it, doesn't want to talk to anyone. They're making it seem like they're athletes or celebrities, and he's being chased down by TMZ or celebrity reporters. No questions at the time. Went straight to his locker room, full security. So they're doing something with this storyline with Chad Gable. I just don't know where it's going, why they chose Chad. Chad was in this mega run with Sami Zayn and, of course, breaking up with the Alpha Academy. I'm really interested in your thoughts, Chris and Clutch, where Chad Gable fits into this whole Wyatt situation.
Well,
Who wants to go first?
That's a little harder for me to say, being that I don't really watch week to week. But did he maybe get mixed in the beginning because they thought he was on his way out? I know he ended up resigning eventually, but usually when they need a sacrificial lamb for something, they usually go with the guy that's about to head out the door. And maybe that's how he got started involved in it. And then now, obviously, he's resigned, so they have to build on that. They have to make something make sense because, like you said, it looked like he got shot in the head. So now they're kind of almost back themselves into a corner, but it sounds like they're working their way out of it now with him, now that he's resigned.
Clutch, I got to ask you, though. We saw what happened with Otis. He tried to apologize. I'm sorry, guys. Otis didn't accept his apology and walked away. Maxine's like, hey, he just needs time. Then we see the Creed show up with Ivy Niles right away, right after that segment. Because basically, Chad Gable's looking for help, looking for backup. He's got these crazy people chasing him. He's crawling back to his old people to get help, but now he's going to seek help with the Creeds. Are we going to see a four-way, like a group tag match? Like, was this leading to a giant, like, is this going to be War Games?
No.
With a woman in it? I don't understand what's happening. Like, what, to me, I'm trying to figure out what the lead in is. Like, what is this leading to?
I'm not even 100% sure we're going to get a match. I mean, a big tag match or anything like that. I'm not even too sure about that. I think, to answer Chris's question, I think Chad was already signed when they killed Gable. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't, I don't think it was that. But I found it interesting because he then had a match and he won the match and he's now qualified for Money in the Bank. and the lights went out at that point, and you thought, okay, he's going to get destroyed again, but they let him go and let him run away or whatever. So I don't know. Maybe it's one of those things where somebody gets jumped, everybody thinks, oh, they're going to just bury the guy or whatever for whatever reason, and they end up better for it. Maybe he ends up performing really well in Money in the Bank. I still don't know who wins that match because, I mean, we haven't really talked about it, but that match has a lot of like really good wrestlers in it that don't get a chance to shine. So it's an open field there, in my opinion. So I don't know where they're going. I just don't think it's 100% certainty that we get that big tag match, 3-on-3, 4-on-4, whatever it is.
I hope not. I hope the Wyatt 6 first match isn't some lame gimmick match like that, where they have to find a woman to wrestle, Nikki Cross. I'm not into that. I don't want to see that. But I want to see. I don't know how you feel about this, but when they do wrestle, because they got to wrestle, they can't just be mysteriously in the back the entire time. I want to see Bo Dallas. I don't want to see Uncle Howdy. I want to see Rowan. I don't want to see whatever he is. I want to see who they are. I don't need supernatural like the Undertaker or any other Kane. When they came out, they were just Kane and the Undertaker. They weren't still shooting lightning in the middle of a match. They eventually wrestled like humans, like human beings. So I hope that's what we see, and I don't want to see like, oh look, they're on their masks and they look spooky. Even when Bray Wyatt came out in his gimmicks, except for the Fiend, he still was Bray Wyatt, right? Eater of Worlds. He still came out and wrestled as a human, except for the Fiend. I just hope we see that. I don't know if you agree with me on that, Clutch, or not.
I do agree. I don't, just by looking at those masks, they seem cool for like backstage things, but they don't look comfortable to wrestle in. So I wouldn't think they have plans to wrestle in them. And I like it that way. Maybe the only person that might get away with it, maybe Nikki, because that mask just looks light.
Yep.
But yeah, Rowan, big ass bunny mask, and that does not look comfortable in to like wrestle in. So I think we're gonna get what you want. Basically, they're just wrestling without their mask. You know who they are. Maybe they do a thing every week now to buy it some time of basically each member being introduced to the Uncle Howdy did with Bo Dallas. Now maybe Nikki Cross talks to herself. I don't know. Maybe some stuff like that to slowly introduce, and then you finally get the match by the time maybe SummerSlam hits.
I'm digging it. I hope they wrestle at SummerSlam. SummerSlam is going to be great this year, by the way. Do we see, last thing on WWE, and this is just a simple question, then we'll get to the AEW side of this thing. Do you see Seth freaking Rollins beating Damian Priest at Money in the Bank? I know 2 weeks away, but I got to know. I got to know what your thoughts are, Clutch.
It's a tough one because the bigger match for SummerSlam is Seth Rollins versus Gunther. But I don't know if Seth wins, how willing you are to have him then immediately drop the title at SummerSlam to Gunther. So I get fans, if you want Gunther to be champion, maybe you want Damian Priest to retain because he'll drop it to Gunther most likely, but then it's heel versus heel. Who knows?
We'll get there.
I don't know. I do like the idea of having Seth versus Gunther just because that match would be awesome.
Yep. I hope they don't do the cheap way out where it's Seth, Gunther, and Damian Priest in a triple threat match. That's where I think it's going to land somehow. Gunther's not going to be happy about it, of course, because he deserves it. Maybe Seth is about to win it. It's an F finish, messed up finish. Damian Priest retains. They go into SummerSlam in a triple threat match, and that's where Gunther can maybe pin Damian Priest, so Seth still looks strong. I don't know. But I do, because other than that, if it's not that, then what is Damian Priest's plans for SummerSlam? Because Finn Balor just won the tag team championships. What's the plans for Seth Rollins? He's got nothing going on.
Hold on. I forgot the stipulation. No, right? For the match.
If Seth loses.
If Seth wins, also Damian Priest has to leave the Judgment Day.
Yes.
So there's that stipulation.
And if Seth loses, he can't challenge for the belt ever again when Damian Priest is there.
Yeah. Interesting. I didn't think of that when I was talking about it, but
yeah, me either.
That's a nice wrinkle in it.
Huh. See, WWE is so great. We don't know who's. Usually you're like, oh, that person's going to win Money in the Bank. Oh, that person's. This pay-per-view coming up, Money in the Bank, you have no idea whether it be on the SmackDown side, Raw side. All the matches, very unpredictable. There's only a few matches where I'm like, okay, they're going to win. But everything else, like I believe I'm leaning towards Jey Uso for Money in the Bank, but I hope not.
I think they're marketing it way too hard for it to be Jey Uso.
But who else? I don't even know who else is in it. I'm not going to lie. I know some of them, but Chad Gable, he just lost for the Intercontinental. We'll get to that show when we get there. I think it's in 2 weeks, correct? I think I confirmed that earlier. Yeah.
Wait, is it?
Hope it's not this weekend. I hope it's not this weekend.
Okay, it's not a weekend, but it's next, I think. Yeah,
Okay.
because it's the same weekend as Heat Wave, and Heat Wave is on the 7th. I know that.
All right. Because we have a big pay-per-view coming up this weekend, I believe. I think there's a door that's about to be open. It's forbidden. And we're about to play Clutch's favorite game. Who the F is this wrestler? So, before we get into Dynamite, I just want to break down this card. I want to break down the Forbidden Door card. I have the whole thing in front of me. Knowing Tony Khan and AEW, there'll be about 3 more matches made on Collision, maybe 2 on Rampage tonight. So expect 5 more matches to be made. And he might make one on Twitter for the sickos.
You think for the sick? You really think he'll add five more?
I don't know.
Could see at least. I could see at least 3 more. There's already a lot on there.
8, 9, 10. We already have 11 matches. Usually he maxes out at 14. We have 11 matches.
Maybe 3 more.
Hey, really quick before you go through the matches. Now that you brought up Tony Khan, I hate this guy so much. I saw this comment about Shaquille O'Neal being the best celebrity wrestler of all time, according to Tony Khan. Like Bad Bunny isn't breathing.
Hold on, now that's a good question.
He's not.
Because what do you consider like? Okay, let me ask you this, and we won't stay on it too long. John Cena's a celebrity. What I mean by that is he left wrestling, became a celebrity, a movie star, and came back. Would he be considered a celebrity wrestler in your guys' eyes?
No,
because he's originally
right. He had his rise to fame in wrestling, though.
Okay.
Yeah, the same way you wouldn't think The Rock is a celebrity wrestler.
Okay. So Logan Paul.
That's a tough one because he's now become a full-time wrestler. I was just thinking of him before you said it. Like, I don't know where you put him. So I guess I would think a celebrity wrestlers has to be someone who got their rise in fame not through wrestling, but has come in and done a few matches. I don't know. Let's put like a cap on it, like 5 matches, 10 matches, something. You know, because Logan Paul, he's now a wrestler.
I will say Shaq's one of the worst wrestlers I've seen, celebrity-wise. He's up there with Snoop Dogg as one of the worst.
Oh, Snoop Dogg is the worst. I love Snoop Dogg, but man, that elbow drop or leg drop from the top rope or middle rope or whatever it was bad.
So what about the Miz? He was a celebrity on.
But he's right. He's over the cap. You get 5.
Oh, yeah.
You get 5 matches.
I'll say this: Stephen Amell and Pat McAfee are the 2 best celebrity wrestlers I've seen. Yeah. Now you can say Bad Bunny. I understand your point there, Clutch, because he's a phenomenal too. But I'm talking about on the mic and in the ring. No one could touch Pat McAfee. And Stephen Amell was pretty damn good too. But I do love Bad Bunny. He's freaking awesome too.
I mean, that match was crazy.
Yeah, it was great.
I mean,
Pat McAfee though, when he was on NXT with Adam Cole, there was never a better like celebrity wrestler at that time, in my opinion. Like,
they helped carry that era of NXT, that especially with like I think COVID already happened at that point. So
it was after COVID.
Yeah, it helped carry like that transition, and then eventually to when NXT went downhill to 2.0. But before that little era before Adam Cole left, it was pretty fun. It
was. All right, let's break down this Forbidden Door card. Then we'll talk about how ridiculous Dynamite was. Spoiler alert: did not like the show. So here's the first match. Clutch, why don't you give me your winner?
Oh,
right off the bat, and tell me who's going to get the pin. So we got Chris Statlander. You know her.
Okay, yes.
And Momo Watanabe.
Who?
Watanabe.
So we have Chris Statlander and, of course, the superstar Momo Watanabe versus
big fan.
Willow Nightingale and Tam Nakano. Are you excited for this match like we are?
I don't know this match. Like what I don't even know what analysis I'm supposed to give you here.
Well, we have Momo, right?
That's
She's
a cool
awesome.
name.
I think Momo Watanabe. She's probably a heel because she's with Chris Statlander. And Willow's awesome, and Tam Nakano. Never seen her, never heard of her. I'm gonna go Momo because you don't mess with Momo.
I might go Momo because it's just a cool name.
Yeah. Statlander and Momo. That's the way to go for this match.
Who asked for this? Okay, now we have.
I think some of these are like for the super, super, super hardcore wrestling fans that's all they watch. There is nothing. They don't watch game sevens of hockey. They don't watch football. They only watch every ounce of wrestling that they can consume.
Call them by their names, Chris. The sickos.
The sickos.
This is for this. All right, next match, which I'm confused by because we got a segment on Dynamite that was not like this match. We got Chris Jericho, the Learning Tree, Big Bill, and Jeff Cobb versus Hook, Samoa Joe, and Ciabatta bread. But on Dynamite, which you didn't, I'm sure you didn't waste your time on this, Clutch. Chris Jericho came out and said, our guy, the Outlaw, the Bad Apple, Brian Keith, is injured because of an attack by these guys, Hook and Samoa Joe and Ciabatta. Right? So we're going to find someone better to replace our guy, the Bad Apple. But I haven't watched the video yet. I'm going to let all you guys know this is the toughest SOB in all of wrestling because I've been to Japan over 60 times. That's a lot of times, guys. That's what he said. And he plays the goddamn video, and it's my worst nightmare. It's the worst thing I could have ever seen in my life. It's the grandpa. It's Suzuki.
Yep.
Minoru Suzuki. Do you know who this guy is, Clutch?
I do know who he is.
And he said in subtitles, which we couldn't read them half the time because they were just showing Jericho's reaction. So we couldn't even see what this guy was talking about. Good job, production. He challenged Chris Jericho to a match because he doesn't like how Chris Jericho's soft. Are we getting that match, Chris? Or are we getting this match? What the fuck happened? Because on Dynamite, they just told me they're wrestling.
I wonder if they're wrestling at a different time. Like he's not going to be there for this match. I don't know. Maybe something happened where his schedule didn't line up. It was supposed to happen. I don't really know for sure. But maybe he's going to go challenge him separately because he wants his FTW title.
Yeah, for the FTW title. Chris Jericho versus Suzuki.
Yeah.
Okay.
So maybe that's been put on the back burner. Maybe that's our,
But they just announced it. Like literally Wednesday night.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what they got going on there. I was also confused whenever we looked up the lineup here because that's the same thing I saw. I thought they were talking about doing that, but I don't know. Who knows?
All right, so we got this one. Who's winning this one? Clutch, the Learning Tree with Jeff Cobb, or Hook, Samoa Joe and Ciabatta bread?
I'll never side with the Learning Tree. I will never do it. Let's go Joe.
Let's go Joe.
Yeah.
Joe's great. You go from the world title though to this. I feel kind of bad for Joe.
I do like the team of Hook and Joe though.
I do. And Ciabatta, even Ciabatta. I make fun of him, but he's good.
But I feel like they could put something together there with Hook and Joe. Like it makes sense. Their styles kind of make sense together.
Yeah, they could be tag team champions. They can go on a run.
They could have something there.
Yeah, they should go on a run. That should lead into a feud. Too bad they already wrestled once before and ruined that. And that was a good match too. All right. We have the Elite, which is your boy Okada and the Young Bucks. The guy who talks like this because I think I'm tough now. I'm Matt Jackson. He's so bad. He is so bad. Versus the Acclaimed, and they showed a video of Tanahashi. Are we excited for Tanahashi?
No.
Clutch.
Who's that?
He's the president of New Japan.
Oh, that guy. Okay, I have heard of that guy. But yeah, I don't care.
So who wins this match, though? For real, like this is actually a match with story in it because the Acclaimed are going to face the Young Bucks for the World Tag Team Championships eventually. I think the Acclaimed have to go over here, right? But you can't pin the EVPs. They're hot.
No,
I don't know.
I'm going to go with the Elite. The Elite pick up the win.
So that means that
So the chase can continue.
But okay, all right, yeah. Again, don't care. When you announce these guys on the very last show before Forbidden Door, like Tanahashi, you kind of don't care. There's no build.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that after we go through the card. We have MJF versus a guy in a wrestling mask that looks like a cartoon character. That's exactly what MJF called him. Hechachero.
I'm sorry. Bless you.
My question to you, would you let Roman Reigns or Cody Rhodes or Randy Orton or any of your top dogs wrestle some no-name guy from Japan in a random match that means nothing?
Well, no. I saw a comment earlier about this match, which is funny to me, that said, this is like Roman Reigns coming back and facing off against Otis, but I feel like this is an insult to Otis. So
To be fair, we don't know who Hechachero is,
hey, he might be good. Who knows?
but most likely not.
I think that's been part of the issue with, I mean, I know you said we're going to dive into this in a little bit, but that's been part of the issue with Forbidden Door is you're expected to know who everybody is. And like you said, if they're announcing some of these names last minute the week before, it's just kind of like, how can you get excited for the match? It's hard to get excited for some of these matches. It was a really cool concept at first, but I feel like it needs to evolve a little bit at this point.
Oh, yeah. Okay, next match, Bryan Danielson versus Shingo.
Uh,
I was going to wait till how long we pause until someone said, who the F is Shingo?
Like, between this match and the next match, you got to go with somebody that's not AEW, right? Like at some point they have to lose a couple of these matches.
Oh, dude, if I wasn't so busy before this podcast, I was going to research how many people actually won on the New Japan side, because I don't think they've ever won one. I don't think they've ever won a match.
No,
I think
I wanted to look into that too. I just didn't have the time to do it. Like they got.
Go ahead, Clutch.
Yeah, I was gonna comment something like, I don't think, like, I've always found this New Japan and AEW relationship weird because it doesn't seem mutually beneficial. It just feels like a way to get AEW over. So I don't know. It's a weird thing, but as for the match, I'm never gonna root against Bryan Danielson. So that's my pick, I guess. I don't know who the hell the other guy is.
Well, if you want to know who he is, just go ahead and watch Dynamite last night or Wednesday night. He's awful. People are calling this a dream match. The dude can't move. The dude was slow as dirt. The dude was botching left and right. The dude can't work. But here we go. Here we are. We're here with one of the greatest of all time, wasting his time with someone named Shingo, which the sickos might think he's awesome, but he couldn't move, Chris. Did you watch that match?
No.
I watched it. Watched the full thing because I wanted to see who Shingo was. So I watched the whole match. He was awful. When he got the hot tag, he moved slower than freaking Omos. And I'm not kidding.
Yeah, that's a terrible matchup then for Danielson. He's going to have to carry him the whole time.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. So then we have Orange Cassidy versus Zack Sabre Jr. I know you've heard that name, Clutch. Don't say you haven't.
I do know him. I think I know him from the Cruiserweight Classic, maybe.
He's been on every Forbidden Door so far, and which we're going to talk about that. I'm not excited for this match whatsoever. Orange Cassidy has like the most wins in AEW history. I don't see him losing.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Here's a good one. Takeshita, heel. Briscoe, over. Okay, it's a big match. Oh, ladder match. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
I thought they were teaming. Okay, Takeshita versus the Briscoe guy, Mark Briscoe, who I like a lot. Jack Perry, El Phantasmo, Dante Martin, and Leo Rush for the TNT Championship in a ladder match. I've heard of everyone except for Phantasmo. I've heard of El Phantasmo. I couldn't pick him out of a lineup.
Yeah, because all the rest are AEW guys.
Yeah.
But
who would you have winning this match?
It's got to be Jack Perry, right? Building off all the momentum that he's had. They've been talking about, we got to get him that title, whatever. If they're going to keep trying to push forward with the Young Bucks and Okada and everything, and now he's the only one that doesn't have any gold, like, it has to be Jack Perry, because who else would you have it? I don't see anyone else there with anything going on.
You really going to keep on burying Takeshita?
I mean, it's a ladder match though. So, I mean, he'll be taken out at some point. He won't be in the ring as they're as they're grabbing the belt. It's got to be Jack Perry, though.
Yeah.
I mean, Takeshita would be my number 2, but I'm still going to go Jack Perry.
Storylines aside, if I'm booking this match, no matter what, it's Mark Briscoe. He's my winner. I think they need to push this guy. He's great on TV. He cut a freaking awesome promo last night. I don't know if our Wednesday night. Keep on saying last night. I just watched the show, guys. But Mark Briscoe cut a great promo. I think Mark Briscoe is believable. I think he's marketable. I think people would follow behind a babyface Mark Briscoe. Yeah. And he's wasting his time over an ROH. When's the last time you see Mark Briscoe on your team TV and you turn the channel? Never. I don't. And I turn the channel a lot.
Well, he's been on the last few weeks.
Yeah, and you don't turn the channel. You like what he's doing.
Yeah, it's goofy. Him with what was it, Kyle O'Reilly?
Yeah,
making all the faces in the background while he's talking.
Yeah, it's great.
It's good.
Mark Briscoe's good stuff. All right, here's the big match. Here's the Monet match. You got Mercedes Monet versus
the $1 million match.
Stephanie Vacour for the TBS and New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong Women's Championship. The belt that was made for Mercedes, by the way. They literally made this belt for her to win.
No.
And she got hurt.
And now she's going to win it again.
Well, no, she's never won it because Willow won it that night.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Well, now she's going to win it then. That's right. I remember she was supposed to get it, but they had to call an audible in the match.
I've seen some highlights of Stephanie Vacour. I think this is going to be the third best match of the night. Calling it right now. Clutch, are you excited for this match?
No. I'm not excited for probably any match on the card except for like maybe one or two that you mentioned already, but
there'll be one that you'll like.
Oh, you think so? You think he'll like this next match? John Moxley versus
Naito? I think the last one. One's good.
Last one's good. All right, but Naito for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. John Moxley versus Naito. Naito wins. The only reason they gave Moxley the title was so that one of their guys can get a big win on pay-per-view where a lot of people are going to watch.
So this is where they finally pick up a win on the card.
Yeah,
this is it right here. Their lone win.
I think it's true. I think Moxley takes. Why else give him the title?
Yeah.
Why else give him the title? Yeah,
this is a good time to give it back to him.
Do you know who Naito is, Clutch?
Nope.
I've heard the name. I will say that, but I wouldn't be able to pick him out of a lineup.
All right. Next match: Toni Storm versus Mina Shirakawa.
This shit really is for the sickos because I don't know what the hell you're saying.
She's the girl who she's basically the Attitude Era version over there in New Japan. If any promo video you ever see, she's just half naked showing her boobs the whole time. Literally. Chris, Am I wrong?
Nope, you are not wrong.
Yep. She's pretty attractive too. She can wrestle.
I might watch that match.
Yeah, well, Toni Storm, get her out of there. Put in Maria May. Maria May, by the way, did you guys see that spot where this Mina girl grabs that giant bottle and she's about to hit Toni Storm?
Oh, yeah.
And Toni Storm ducks. And Maria May, she had a whole full 2 seconds to react. She sticks her head out so she can get hit in the head. Did we all see that?
Yes.
Did not.
The timing was off on it for sure.
But there we go. In the last match.
Well, wait. Who are you going to pick on that one? Did you already say?
I don't care. Toni Storm.
Come on, but that one at least has a decent storyline going on.
It does have a decent story, but
for the storyline perspective, where do you think it's going to go?
Mina's not going to win the AEW Women's World Championship. Period.
No.
Plain and simple. The only person that's going to win that is going to be Maria May.
Well, then let me say, from a storyline perspective, isn't something significant going to happen at the pay-per-view?
Yeah, Maria's going to turn on Toni Storm.
Yeah.
She's going
to try and help her old friend win the title, and it's going to backfire.
The thing I don't like about this match right here, whether you like it or not, they're both heels. Toni Storm's a heel, Mina's a heel. And I know they do that a lot. They love their heels versus heels. We're going to talk about in the very next match.
Well, it's got an interesting dynamic because, it is heel versus heel, but then you have the babyface in between the two of them trying to, it's her two friends, and she's trying to, have them coexist together. She just wants them to all be friends, but they hate each other.
But my thing with with this whole story, Chris, we need Maria May versus Tony Storm. That's the end game.
Yeah.
We don't need
get
a
there.
babyface Tony Storm. I don't want to see her turn. I'd rather see Tony Storm turn on Maria. Maybe she's about to do something crazy to Mina. Maria May sacrifices herself, put herself in front of her. I don't know. But we can't have a babyface Tony Storm at all.
No,
it'd be awful.
And no, it's got to be heel Tony Storm moving forward to finish that story. I think we'll get there.
But we saw how sympathetic she was, how mad she was. She's turning babyface. At the very end, she was the one protecting Maria May.
She was. But I think at some point she'll turn on her. She'll get fed up with her still being friends with her, and she'll turn on her. It'll happen.
Such as like cool story bros. We're spending too much time on.
He's going to go watch some clips and he's going to be like, all right, I get it.
Yeah, this match is awesome. 5 stars. The Observer will give it 6 stars, so I don't know. Swerve Strickland, babyface, versus Will Ospreay, the biggest babyface in the company, for the AEW World Championship.
That's real hoops. Okay. I agree with you saying that I would like this match.
Yeah.
This match is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
And it sucks that they're putting it here because I'm not going to spend $50 on this pay-per-view. I'm not going to buy it. I've already decided. I've already come to terms with it. Because I'll fall asleep before this match starts. I'll fall asleep within the first 3 matches. But I don't know who to go with here because we already have Will Ospreay already putting the World Championship on the line. He already made a match with Daniel Garcia saying, I will give you a title match after I beat whatever. He didn't even say that. He just said a title match. He didn't even say when I beat Swerve, when I win this title, I'll give you a title shot. He goes, I'll give you a title match next week for the World Championship and the International Championship or Continental, whatever he holds. I don't know which title he holds. I think Will Ospreay has to win it, man, but I don't think he does. I think Swerve wins.
I don't know. I'm conflicted on who wins on this one because, like I said, I feel like Will Ospreay is like the number one person that does not lose in AEW right now. But to have him win the title now, I don't think would be good because I thought they were going to, if they're going to put the title on him, I thought they would save that for the Wembley show. So like, you don't think they'll save that for the Wembley show?
I don't think he's wrestling at Wembley for the title.
No?
Nah, it's too soon.
Well, if he was going to wrestle for it, I would think that's where it would be at, though. But I guess if he's going to lose the match, then that would make sense why they're not waiting until Wembley for this. I don't know. It just seems weird to put Will Ospreay in a match that he's going to lose.
But it's weird to put Swerve Strickland in a match he's going to lose, too.
Yeah. This is one of those matches. You said one of those ones you just don't quite know where they're gonna go with. Maybe it's Swerve, maybe it's Ospreay, but I don't know. I could see it going either way.
But the funny thing about this whole situation is it's kind of like how the Seth Rollins match was at WrestleMania. He was focused on Drew and everyone else instead of his actual opponent. Who was opponent? I can't remember who his opponent was at WrestleMania. Seth. Who does Seth wrestle?
It was Drew.
Okay, Drew. Who was Drew? Was more focused on CM Punk, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
Seth was more focused on the tag team match with Rock and Roman.
Yeah. So Will. Yeah, yes.
Yep.
Thank you. And Will Ospreay is more focused on MJF.
Yeah.
And this is leading me to believe that this is a crash course for MJF and Will Ospreay at Wembley, because that is honestly, take Swerve and his title aside. I get it, but the biggest match you could put on at your biggest show of the year is Will Ospreay versus MJF. You don't need the title. We said the same thing for, Rock and Roman. Doesn't need the title. Not saying they're Rock and Roman. Don't get it wrong. But what I'm saying is 2 young guys carrying a company, only 2 people. Clutch, watch Dynamite next week and count how many times you have dead air or dead silence. It's gonna be every single person out there except for when Ospreay or when MJF's out there. And that's it. They're the only people that get reactions. So you have to put them together in the biggest match. John Moxley's not getting a reaction anymore. Bryan Danielson's not. The Elite definitely are not. The Acclaimed, dead. When they were cutting their promo, nobody gave a fuck. That's the big match. Will it have the title? It shouldn't, honestly. It shouldn't. It should just be those 2. And Swerve Strickland should go against Hangman Page, when he wins the Owen Cup. That's how it's going to happen, Chris. Now, Swerve and Page, because that's a big storyline that has not finished yet. and we're gonna have Will Ospreay and MJF.
Okay.
That's the matches at
There'd
Wembley.
be some good matches right there.
Yeah, that's gonna be your matches. I promise you that. So now that we know the whole card, Chris, who do you think's gonna win, Swerve or Ospreay?
You've talked me into it. I guess Swerve, although I don't know. I don't like this match in the sense of like, who do you pick to lose? But it'll probably be a really good match. It'll be 7 stars. I'm calling it right now.
7 stars. I do see a situation where Swerve wins and he has to turn back heel. And I know we're really late right now, and Clutch is probably like, I don't watch Dynamite, so I don't give a F. But I do want to bring this up, and I want to say, is this a concern to you? And will this be a concern to you, Clutch? Dynamite opened MJF promo. They never do that. They always open up with matches. This time it opened up with an MJF promo. Right away, Daniel Garcia came out and interrupted MJF. So we have babyface and babyface in the ring, cutting a promo, sucking each other off. You're so great. You're so great. We love each other. Thank you for inspiring me. No, you inspire me. No, you inspire me. You know what? I'm going to give you a match at All In. Me versus you, Daniel Garcia, at All In, Wembley Stadium. Daniel Garcia, oh my God, I love you so much. Thank you. No heat, but reactions. Then we get Will Ospreay coming out. Another babyface. Oh, good day, mate. Hey, bruv. I'll do something even better. I'll give you a title shot, 2 title shots, blah, 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 blah. Babyface versus babyface versus babyface. Then they cut to Swerve, the 4th babyface in this entire fucking feud. So we have the 4 top babyfaces, not Daniel Garcia, 3 top babyfaces and Daniel Garcia, all vying for the world championship. Where are the bad guys? Who am I supposed to be rooting against? Why? We love every single person in this program. Is Tony trying to make us pick who we want more? I don't understand what's happening. 4 biggest baby faces. Well, Daniel Garcia is a big baby face, but not on their level. Clutch, can you make sense of this?
I mean, the way you make it sound, it doesn't really make sense.
Nothing does.
Yeah, I mean, that's the booking for you. Bunch of great wrestlers, but no direction.
The only way they can save this is if MJF comes out and he screws Will Ospreay in the main event at the Forbidden Door. And there you go. We finally have a reason to care. Because all we care about, all we see now is MJF doing this, and Will Ospreay upstaged him by offering Daniel Garcia a title match instead of a match at All In. That's what we're going off of. MJF should be mad because Will Ospreay upstaged him. I don't know, man. I'm not buying it, Chris. Are you?
No, there's got to be more there. I mean, we still got a ways to go till that pay-per-view, and maybe that's the way they do it. And then that would, you're saying for him to come in and interfere, that would make sense then for Will Ospreay to lose that match, because it would just be hard for him to take a clean loss there. So then that would kind of satisfy that there, and it would start their story. So, Tony, if you're listening, your number one sicko right here is throwing you a good idea.
Yes. A great idea, but he's not going to take it. We'll end up getting a fatal 4-way match at All In. All baby faces. Hell, it's called the Babyface Invitational. Everyone that the people love, go in, main event. Why not? But we're going to close it out there. We'll be back, on Thursday night next week. Baseball's over. Spoiler alert, my son went to baseball one time this entire season. One time.
We will not be back on Thursday next week.
Oh, 4th of July is next week.
Yes. So we'll be back in 2 weeks.
Yes, Clutch, don't forget to get your free hot dogs at your local Burger King.
Of course.
Get your local Burger King?
Hey, on the show, I got to ask this. I heard, was my wife went over to Europe. I've never been anywhere. She told me the fast food is way better there. Is that true?
It is. It actually is. I do enjoy it a lot more. The only place I maybe don't enjoy as much as I did in the U.S. is McDonald's.
Okay. And I also heard that they charge for condiments there. Is that true?
They do.
Do they really? Because
Yeah.
she's like, because her ex-husband's from Germany. He's German. He loves ketchup. And I'm like, why do you love ketchup so much, dude? He's like, because it's free here. I'm like, what do you mean it's free here? He's like, everywhere you go, you have to pay for ketchup. Everywhere.
Yeah,
Is
you
that
have
true?
to pay for condiments.
Dang. But hey, why not? I don't blame you guys. I'd pay for the ranch over there. What's that? Wingstop. I'd pay for that stuff. That's really good stuff. Chick-fil-A ranch. Are you kidding me? Delicious. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this bad boy up. We'll be back not next week because next week is 4th of July. We'll be back in 2 weeks on Thursday.
Yep.
We'll be talking about Forbidden Door. We'll be talking about the upcoming Money in the Bank. Or will that have already been passed?
Yeah, that would be post Money in the Bank.
Damn.
Yep.
We're going to talk. Then we'll talk post Money in the Bank. What's going on? Who won? Who's going to cash it in? I'm predicting to cash in that night, by the way. I'll call it right now.
Really?
Which side? The men's or the women's side?
The men's side.
The men's side? Okay.
Yeah. They just had Money in the Bank. Damian Priest held it for like 85 months. They're not going to do that again. I think it's going to be a fast cash in, and I think it's going to be Drew. And I think Drew's going to win. I think Drew's going to beat whoever. That's why I think this whole match nothing matters because Drew's going to come out of there winning it anyway, and it's going to be CM Punk versus Drew for the title. I think.
But then Gunther still has to have it.
Gunther still has to have it. Oh, damn it! Oh, why? Again, I love Gunther, but I wish they didn't book that. That's all. Because there's. Let me ask before we go. Would you rather see CM Punk and Drew for the title or Gunther and Rollins?
I think you can get both because I still think that you don't need the title for CM Punk versus Drew.
Yeah.
Their
feud feels very personal.
This is way bigger than the title for each of them individually.
I know. I keep on forgetting that Gunther's the number one. I really do keep on forgetting that because he's not on TV much.
He showed up on Raw to a big pop and
he did.
Reminded everybody, I guess.
He did, but we forget, and you have to be my face to remember. All right, guys, we'll see you next week.
See you.